It is so easy to become really resentful and really hateful towards pretty much everything in life because life sucks most of the time. In this video, I'm going to go over how to avoid resentment, deceit, and arrogance. This is Beyond Order, Rule 11, explained. Becoming resentful, deceitful, and arrogant is really simple. The real question is, how do you avoid it and become a functioning, positive, and successful individual? Well, hopefully I can tackle that. It is difficult for us to see what we are blinded to by the nature of our personalities. It is for this reason that we must continually listen to people who differ from us, and who, because of that difference, have the ability to see and to react appropriately to what we cannot detect. Arrogance, according to Merriam-Webster, an attitude of superiority manifested in an overbearing manner or in presumptuous claims or assumptions. The way you become arrogant is by playing it safe and staying in your really, really small bubble of reality. Once you venture outward, which is a difficult endeavor and most people do not, that's when you start having different perspectives coming in and helping you understand where you're wrong and where you're very wrong. Because you're either wrong or very wrong. There's no in between. I myself have learned far more about any part of life by those who think differently and those who are different than me compared to those who have the same opinions or similar opinions. The only way you can really learn and become a full individual is by going out and every single day attempting to learn something new from someone different. Not yourself, but from someone who has a different perspective. I do my best to do this every single day because the only way I can learn anything is by exposing myself to newness every single day. The way you avoid arrogance is by seeking out newness and new things every single day. Deceit, the act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid. It's really simple. Being deceitful is not telling the truth. Telling the truth oftentimes in the moment will create pain, hurt, whatever it may be, because a lot of times the truth does hurt. But in the medium to the long term, sustainably, telling the truth is way better for yourself and for the others around you. The more and more you continue to tell lies about yourself, about other things, the more and more a little bit of yourself and a little bit of your conscience dies. And the longer you do that, the more you're forfeiting the good things in your conscience, in your being, and you're bringing more and more until you just completely bring hell on earth, which is not advisable. Although telling the truth in the short term sucks most of the time, avoid deceitfulness by telling the truth always. Resentment, a feeling of indignant displeasure or persistent ill will at someone regarded as a wrong, insult, or injury. It's plenty justifiable and understandable to be very, very hateful or resent someone. Now, just because it's justifiable and understandable, does that make it right? I remember resenting my parents for literally years and years and years because when I was younger, they divorced. And I thought in my mind that, okay, you destroyed this perfect family in my mind. And in reality, that really wasn't the case. The case was it just didn't work out, and sometimes life does not work out. However, in my mind, I thought, it's all about me, right? So therefore, you're doing this and you're wronging me. How selfish can you be? The more and more I resented both of them for doing this, the more, I guess, there was just negativity and stress, unnecessary stress, and part of my sovereignty and individuality was dying because I had this resentment. And thank God I had people around me who were not parental figures, but like parental figures, father and mother-like figures, who taught me that the only way you can really, really, really overcome something like this, overcome resentment in your being, is by one thing. It's the F word, but not the F word that's an expletive. It's forgiveness. And resentment is this. It's wanting your wrongdoer to experience pain and whatever you want them to experience, which is not good. However, in order to make that happen, each day you're drinking a little bit of poison and a little bit of poison, and a little bit more and more each day you're dying. So resentment actually hurts you way more than it hurts the other person. The wrongdoer in your mind goes about their life as if nothing's happening, yet you're experiencing the true negativity. That doesn't coincide. The only way you can avoid resentment is by forgiving. Never forgetting, however, forgiving freely. All right, out of these three, which of these three deadly sins are the most difficult to avoid in your life and why? Comment now. I want to hear. The answer for me is arrogance. I always use facts and logic and think I'm way, smarter, which is silly. I'm working on it, let me tell you. But I use arrogance as my way of thinking I'm better. Now, the other ones I've done, but arrogance has been the most recent one. I'm working on it. Please have forgiveness. I'm working on opening my mind each and every day from those who think differently than me, because it's the only way I can truly learn, opening and being open to those different than I. The positive element is the heroic aspect, the person who can sacrifice properly to nature and strike a bargain with fate such that benevolence reigns, the person who is awake, alert, attentive, communicative, and bears responsibility so that the tyrannical part of the state remains at bay, and the person who is aware of his or her own faults and proclivity for malevolence and deceit so that proper orientation is maintained. Be the hero. All heroes have the dark side. All heroes have the shadow part of you. But the only way you can actually bring order and bring heaven on earth is by choosing to be the hero. Choose to be the one who shoulders the responsibility. Choose to be the one who continues through the resistance no matter what. That's what being a hero is. And that's how we keep the tyrannical governments, or whatever it may be, tyranny in general, at bay. You have to choose to be the hero. Properly order yourself, make it a daily practice, keep the enemy at bay, and always keep your sword ready. If you confront the suffering and malevolence, and if you do that truthfully and courageously, you are stronger, your family is stronger, and the world is a better place. The alternative is resentment, and that makes everything worse. And when he says confront the suffering and malevolence, that means the suffering and malevolence not out there, not over there, but right here. The suffering and malevolence that I have inside of me. Confronting that dark part is the only way you're going to be able to overcome any of the suffering and malevolence outside. You have to conquer inside yourself firstly, and then go outward. Now that is a virtuous pursuit. If you take your turn at the difficult tasks, people learn to trust you, and you learn to trust yourself, and you get better at doing difficult things. All of that is good. If you leave all that undone, you will find yourself in the same position as the child whose parents insisted upon doing everything for him or her, bereft of the capacity to thrive in the face of the difficulties, challenges of life. Have you ever had that one friend who always shirked responsibility and never did anything and always pushed it off on everybody? Yeah, don't be that friend. Your capacity to succeed, to do, to accomplish is so much greater than you actually believe it. I surprise myself when I push myself just a little bit further. Now, that doesn't mean go until there's complete exhaustion and you completely flatten out. No, it's adding a little bit sustainably every single day until you become a strong person. Because most of us are pretty weak. I'm pretty weak most of the time. I have to work on becoming mentally and physically strong every single day. But right now, you are so much stronger than you actually believe. You just need to keep on going forward, continue doing things that are 10% above your perceived level, and then 15, and then 20, a little bit every single day. You do a little bit every single day, look back over the last year of your life, that's 365 days, you've done a little bit more. You've shouldered a little bit more responsibility. That is a year in review, a year to review, and a year to remember. Because if you can do that every day for a year, you're in the money. Don't shirk responsibility. Don't do it. Take the responsibility on. Take more and more all the time. Choose difficult tasks and do them daily. If you make it a daily practice, it won't be odd when a huge difficult task comes upon you, because you've been doing it every single day and you prepare, and then do it. All right, so that's how the ways that I avoid or attempt to avoid resentment, deceit, and arrogance. I seek out newness, tell the truth, and forgive freely. Those are all really difficult. So lofty goals, but if you do it a little bit every single day and pursue those and pursue that heaven on earth, it becomes a little more normal. And I want to know, how do you guys avoid resentment, deceit, and arrogance? Comment below, and I will see you guys on the next one.